welcome back to another war video today. Today, Yugoslav war. And so war happens after Serbia attacks Kosovo. Although the thing is, Kosovo rebels. And these guys, all the former, then people start to pick sides. And war starts. And so the first shots of the war are fired when Kosovoan forces retaliate and push into and make it over the border. Make it over the border and attack. Although Serbia attacks back, pushes them back, although they don't push them back to the border because Serbia has to focus most of their forces fighting other people like Croatia. And so Serbia pushes into Croatia. And Bosnia. And together they all and a massive offensive is formed, capturing a really good amount of territory. Although Bosnia basically tosses around Montenegro's army. And within a month, within 5 weeks, Podgorica falls. And Montenegro inevitably surrenders. Which is pretty bad for Albania. And maybe bad for Serbia. Also Albania manages to make it over the northern Macedonian border. Although North Macedonia is still mobilizing their army. And so Albania pushes some more, and they plan to make it to Skopje. And now Serbia pushes back Kosovo with the little soldiers that they have on this front line. And they dig in and prepare for an offensive to capture Pristina. Over by Albanian and Bosnian soldiers. Also, just as Albania almost captures Skopje, North Macedonia fully mobilizes their army and bashes back the Albanians. They even send troops over to help Kosovo. Although their advance is stopped in a catastrophic battle. Also, Serbia can't deal with all these fronts. They're mainly targeting Croatia, so they get greatly pushed back with their Bosnian front. Also, Serbia continues their advance, and they want and are hoping to make it to Zagreb. They also attack and push back the Bosnians and they secure their supply line. Also, now that North Macedonia's army is fully mobilized, Bosnia pushes Albania out of Montenegro. They launch a counter-offensive into Albania. And also, Croatia lets Bosnia use their ports to manufacture ships. So they send a fleet, and they land and capture Sarande with very little resistance. And they secure their foothold. Also, Serbia crosses into Kosovo and takes Pristina. Although Kosovo continues to fiercely fight. Also, North Macedonian soldiers help Kosovan soldiers push back Serbia a little bit. Serbia continues their advance into Croatia. And they gather their forces for an all-out assault on Croatia. And they form a spearhead and capture Zagreb. Although it isn't long until the bulk of the Slovenian and Croatian army arrives and pushes them out of Zagreb. They begin a grand assault, or they begin a grand counter-offensive. Also, the Bosnian army manages to spike their supply line, causing their fence to completely collapse. Also, with lots of resources being spent and poured into the army, they finally manage to recapture Pristina. And they form a spearhead, even though they're not trying to capture their capital at all. As riots form, a huge chunk of Serbia surrenders their army. And after the Yugoslav alliances, our navy being disintegrated, they captured Tirana and they landlock Albania, inevitably forcing Albania to surrender. And now one of the most greatest Balkan counteroffensive starts in the war. Serbia is still willing to fight, although their army loses great morale, and they form a spearhead and capture Belgrade, forcing them to surrender. So now it's time to make some new borders. Oh yeah, and also Bosnia completely annexes Montenegro. Actually, no, they don't completely annex it. But they annex a lot of it. Today is not a very good day for these guys. Yeah, new borders. Yeah. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe and stay spooky.